It's going to be one of the most athletically challenging pay-per-views we've ever produced. Turns out the good old JR Jim Ross was proven to be a prophet because time after time after time throughout this entire pay-per-view, that statement was absolutely proven to be 100% correct. I'm going to ask this question at the top. What the fuck has happened to pro wrestling? There were some good moments on this show, and then... oh, God. Anyway, I'm John Rant with my review of AEW Double or Nothing 2023. They're still in Vegas, and they certainly took a gamble on this. I would have rather taken nothing. And this crowd was giving them nothing for a bit, and look, there were some moments on the show I actually enjoyed. And I'm going to jump right into it because I got a lot to say about some of this stuff. I have given AEW a lot of slack. I have praised a lot of their stuff. They've produced some pretty damn good matches on pay-per-view, on television, and have had a decent flow to some of their feuds, and I was enjoying some of this stuff. Yes, the crowd being muted during some of it didn't help, but my God, you can't just start with chaos, continue with chaos, and then end with chaos and expect people to feel anything other than, oh, that's all you got? Oh, you're just watching late era WCW and ECW and putting it with a whole bunch of money behind it and just putting extra money behind it, putting just a bunch of insanity, more insanity, a bigger budget, and all this craziness. And it's not wrestling, folks. It's not fucking wrestling. Maybe I'm just old and maybe I'm just out of touch, as it were, but did anybody really like a lot of the moments on this pay-per-view? If you did, great. Goddamn great. What I didn't like was a lot of the buy-in. We have Renee, Paul White, the child known as Stokely Hathaway, and a guy named Kazim. I don't know who he is. I got nothing against him. RJ City's parents should be brought up on criminal charges for producing him. That's all I'm going to say. Arn should have DDT'd him into the goddamn floor, but Arn gets involved a little bit later. JR arrives and then says it's going to be one of the most athletically challenging pay-per-views that we've ever produced. And he said that before the first match on the buy-in started. Anyway, the Hardy hookers, as it were, because it's Matt and Jeff and Hook. That's the most you're going to get out of me here. Against Ethan and the Guns for ownership of Ethan Page's contract. This is what I got out of this match. This is a stupid feud. The Hardys shouldn't be in the ring anymore. Jeff crashed and goddamn burned. And look, if Jeff truly is clean and can stay clean, I give him credit. He should not be in the goddamn ring anymore. Neither should Matt. This was embarrassing. This drug Hook down. And eventually he tapped out Ethan. So Ethan, his contract, I guess, is owned by Matt Hardy because this feud will never, ever end. It will go on and on, my friends. Renee was on the stage. Martha Hart does know that the Kentucky Derby, that is, was a few weeks ago, right? So the Owen Hart ceremonies, or Owen Hart Memorial Cup Tournament ceremonies, I mean, it's kind of wordy. Here's Tony Khan. Thanks, guys. I can't unhear it. I can't. I have seen his announcement. I'm like, my God, I just can't. I can't unhear it. I just can't. So there we go. I hope this tournament turns out well. I'm glad they're honoring Owen Hart. Tony Khan dressed like the weirdest cowboy ever. I don't really know what the hell the point of that was. But since it's going to be the Canadian Stampede, that whole thing's going to be taking place when the finals of the Owen Hart Cup tournament take place. Okay, that's fine. Maybe we'll get a loud crowd like we got at the Canadian Stampede in your house in 1997. So all the guys for the Blackjack Battle Royal make their entrance. JR thirsting over Penelope. I mean, I get it. I do. 10 minutes of entrance. I did like the fact, actually, they used the entrances to fill up the last few minutes of the pre-show, the buy-in, as it were. So we just started with the goddamn Battle Royal, kind of like we were straight out of Mania 14. 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal for the International Championship. You know what I thought of this? It was spot-filled. I've seen enough Battle Royals, and I didn't care. I didn't care, because I don't like Orange Cassidy. I'm never going to say that Orange Cassidy, to me, is an actual... I don't think he's an actual wrestler. I think he's a joke. I think he's a goddamn joke. I thought he was a joke from the first time I saw him on the first ever AEW pay-per-view. Nothing has changed my mind since. The people that like him, great. If you're like me, and I know I'm like me, you don't like him. And if you like him, that's great. That's fan-fucking-tastic. We can all like different things. I'm not saying you can't. This was a goddamn disaster. Because it was a battle royal with a bunch of goddamn spots. Commander eliminating himself early doing the rope walk and jumping over the top rope. Good job. Good job enforcing it too, referees. Um, this was given so much. This was given like the first 25 minutes of the pay-per-view. So technically, with the 10 minutes of entrances for the buy-in, they gave this 35 minutes. Because goddamn Tony Khan just for whatever reason thinks that Orange Cassidy is so great. And that's fine. Whatever, it's his goddamn company. I'm just here along for the ride. I paid for this thing, by the way, so, unlike some people that pirate these things, I can actually say whatever the fuck I want because I put down my hard-earned money to watch this. So, Ricky gets taken out after eliminating a couple people because this Bullet Club feud will not end. And then Dustin hit a destroyer in the apron. Why? Brian Cage looked useless. It was down to Swerve and Cassidy. I was hoping Swerve would win, but nope, Swerve did not. Swerve ended up looking stupid at the end of that thing, and Swerve is not stupid. And Cassidy won. This is a joke. The International Championship is a joke. You could have Miro come out on Dynamite and destroy him, and it will still be a joke. Where is Pac, by the way? Where is he? So anyway, they're singing Judas. I hope Vegas sinks into the goddamn desert. So we get It's All About the Boom, Adam Cole, baby, against Chris Jericho. The JAS and Chris Jericho's corner, and we have Sabu as a special guest enforcer for like the first 3 minutes of this goddamn match. It was an unsanctioned match. Undisputed unsanctioned match, and Sabu just does the goddamn dive, crashes through a table, almost slips. I mean, he's 58 going on 88. And then everybody just fights off. They just fight and go away. Or maybe the earth opened up and a goddamn graboid got them. I don't know. I don't really give a shit. Because this is just one of many anarchy-filled moments. Ha ha ha. Where we just got... I get what they were going for, and if they had just focused on these two guys, I still wouldn't have liked it. But maybe it wouldn't have drug on as much as it did. I might have been a little kinder to it if it didn't just start with everybody getting involved and doing a whole bunch of shit. Jericho is washed. He can't move. At one point, Jericho landed on his goddamn head when they tried to recreate the Ricochet Adam Cole kick spot. Not that it would hurt Jericho's head because Jericho has brain parasites in his goddamn head. What would you expect from somebody that believes the shit Jericho believes? An extinguisher spot that took forever. And then Britt came down. And Kendo sticked Jericho. And then Saraya came down and got sticked repeatedly. Saraya's used to getting sticked repeatedly on camera. Which I wouldn't say and I wouldn't mock. But she's a transphobic, abuser-defending bitch. So she deserves every bit of ridicule she gets. And then we get chairs and a chain spot. A table crash where Cole almost went head first. Near falls. And then the chain on the knee and lowering the boom, and then Cole's beating him up, and it's an unsanctioned match, and then referee stoppage. They were trying to recreate, I think it was Unforgiven 2008, when Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho did something like that. I mean, that's not the only time that finish has been done, but yeah, referee stoppage. Ooh! The crowd also did not give a fuck during this match. They pretty much died after the first few minutes. So anyway, Mark Briscoe gets a pop, wearing a referee shirt. FTR versus Team TNA. Jarrett and Lethal with, I think Sanjay means jerk, and I think Satnam Singh means some kind of spaceship. And also the useless Karen Jarrett, who should be at home. Be at home. You do not belong. You are not worthy of being in a goddamn wrestling ring, or around a wrestling ring, or even in a wrestling company. She's proof that if you sleep with the right people, you can be on television. Yeah, I'll say that, because I don't goddamn care. And... alright, Mark Briscoe is the ref, AEW Tag Team Championship match. I wanted to like this because there was actual wrestling, but then they got too much bullshit interference stuff and they made Mark Briscoe completely meaningless. We got, him catching, Mark Briscoe catching various shenanigans. FTR fires up at one point. We get more bullshit. Sanjay gets ejected. Mark ends up getting hit with a guitar, and then there's no count. Sanjay stops Aubrey just long enough for Karen to swing a guitar at Aubrey. Aubrey takes a bump. If Karen Jarrett were to end up, not being able to, I don't know, ever be on a wrestling show again, maybe that would actually be better. No, you know what, I'm not going to say that. She's got kids. So go home and be a mother to your kids, you twat. So anyway, yeah, I hear. Because name one positive thing that Karen Jarrett has contributed to wrestling. She was the worst part of so many angles in TNA, pardon the pun, and she doesn't belong here. Again, she is not worthy, and somebody probably should teach her what her place is. And if I'm called a bad word because of that, I don't care. Because it's a shoes on the other foot, and Karen was a talented one, and Jeff Jarrett was riding the coattails, I'd say the same damn thing about Jeff Jarrett. Anyway, the fuck you Karen chants, everybody already has. It's like a hot dog down a hallway. And then we get Mark Briscoe back up. The Shatter Machine, 1, 2, 3, because Jarrett got slapped into the Shatter Machine. Did FTR benefit from this? No. The tag division did not benefit from this. Never have Karen Jarrett on the goddamn program again. Why is Marvez still here? I don't care if he's a nice guy. Why is he still here? Starks got attacked by Jay and Juice. FTR runs him off. So, Jericho and Saraya. You want to talk about a pair of absolute shitheads? Here they are. They won a tag match. Jericho, it's funny though, that Jericho donates to all these charities and tries to act like such a good guy and everything. But, charities can use as tax write-offs to donate to various bad people like he has in the past. Hey, where was his wife on January 6, 2021? Also, Saraya, I'm just going to say right now, if she better hope that her abusive boyfriend doesn't end up abusing her, because otherwise, well, karma's a bitch, isn't it? Don't be stupid. You won't be asking for it. So anyway, and also one quick thing about Saraya, because I just want to say this. She talks about how WWE held her down, held her back, and stuff like that. They paid for her rehab stints a whole lot. They held on to her to make sure that she wasn't going to self-destruct and everything. She went through numerous drug issues. Did get clean, credit to her. Probably would have been better if she didn't. But nevertheless, they stuck by her. They did all this stuff. Mayor, the GM, paid her significant money for years when she couldn't wrestle anymore because her neck decided to turn into a tangled slinky. And they didn't do anything for her. You better hope Tony Khan's money helps you, because WWE ain't going to take you back in one wrong move and you're going to be in traction. And I'll laugh because you fucking deserve it, you transphobic karma. Urgh. Karma's a bitch, and transphobia is going to get you, and defending abusers is going to get you, you rotten twat. So anyway, I don't care at this point. I'm a wrestling fan. I've had it with some of the bad people that exist here. Christian Cage took on Wardlow. TNT ladder match. Rick Knox is the referee. So were others. Rick Knox is a terrible referee. Turtleneck chance. The turtleneck was most over part here. All these bumps in the match that's going to be probably forgotten about in 3 weeks. At one point there was a power display, and then there was a spin slam onto the ladder. And then the Dino shows up. Mr. Luchasaurus. And then Arn ends up getting involved after an Alabama slam. A senton outside. Here's Arn. Wardlow ends up jumping off a ladder, crashing through Luchasaurus. And this is after, by the way, Arn ends up getting involved with Luchasaurus just before this, and he bites Luchasaurus' thumb. Now, maybe they gimmicked it. I don't think they gimmicked it, because it looked like he was in pain. And Arn was bleeding from the goddamn mouth and stuff. He was bleeding from the ear. Don't take bumps. He shouldn't be taking bumps. I don't care if he's healthy. He should not be taking bumps. And, okay, this was just dumb. This did nothing for Wardlow. If they had it where it was a ref bump, it was a regular match, and they had done a couple things, fine. But, god damn it. Arn was bleeding from the face. They did a whole bunch of other bullshit. And then Wardlow, after doing that ladder spot, Wardlow wins, pulls the title down. What did this do for Christian? JR, by the way, was calling all this, and then Shivani replaced him. So now we get to Tony Storm with the Outcasts attacking Jamie Hayter before the bell. And then basically Jamie Hayter tries to fire back, but can't fire back. It's for the AEW Women's Championship. Apparently Jamie Hayter's injury is legit, so they had to write her off here. They had an exposed buckle spot. The referee got bumped. This was messy. Britt attacked Saraya. You'd think Saraya again would be used to being, getting it from behind on camera. And then Um, we get a spray paint in the eyes. We get Ruby getting involved. We get Sheeta showing up, no selling Ruby, because I think Sheeta has had it with this shit. She's like, I can go back to Japan and probably be used a lot better. And Buckle Shot, Storm Zero, 1, 2, 3. Tony is a new champion, and I like Tony. If it was Tony and Ruby and pretty much anybody else, if Britt had turned on Jamie and was leading the Outcast, that'd be fine. Saraya is the albatross dragging this goddamn thing down. New champion. They fucked the division. I hope Jamie's going to be back in time for the Wembley show. The injury couldn't have been that bad if they decided to go with this. They probably are just using to write her off for a couple months. Hopefully she'll get better. I guess we don't have to worry about that Mercedes and Jamie Hayter match, because Mercedes' ankle is unfortunately fucked, and hopefully they both recover. This was terrible. Terrible. Even if it had to be done to get the title off of Jamie. The Outcast stuff, it's some of the worst stuff going on in wrestling. House of Black entrance. Caster basically makes a few talks about Brody King being a reject from RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah, that might have been bad taste, but why is it okay for Malachi to be in blackface? Then it says, Buddy trying to look ominous when he's getting cucked by a guy named Dominic. That was good. That was good. I hate that was good. That was good. Yeah, I don't mind Caster's raps. I didn't like the one he did about Simone Biles. It was a while ago. They could have added it off easily, but I just say this, when he's on, he does really good stuff. And so it's a House of Black against the Acclaimed and Billy. Open house challenge for the AEW Trios Championship. Referee Rick Knox again. I say this should have been on Dynamite. This wasn't bad, but I'm over the trios matches after we saw an unsanctioned match, a battle royal, and bullshit-filled action taking place in the women's match and just the ladder match and stuff like that. I was oversaturated on chaos and just ridiculousness, so it wasn't bad. Who's Your Mommy chance? It was kind of funny. And then we got the Black Mass, or whatever they call it, 1, 2, 3 on Billy. That's fine. It was what it was. Malachi, pinning Billy. Billy Gunn taking a pin on a pay-per-view in 2023. And still looking good in the match. And I say this much, the Showgirls for Taya Valkyrie's entrance. My goodness. Yes, more, please. Who was this singing Jade's theme? They should have gotten Jade to sing that song. Or the Four Non-Blondes. Are they still alive? I genuinely, I don't know that. Okay, so I don't know who the singer was. Don't ever sing again. Whoever that is, don't ever sing again. That was terrible. Jade, and with Layla Gray against Taya Valkyrie. The Road to Valhalla is not banned this time. TBS Championship. A split crowd. Taya is very good. She is not a magician. Jade is not ready for pay-per-view. She's barely ready for TV. This streak has proven that. They try to make it replicable to Goldberg. The difference is Goldberg's streak drew money, and Goldberg may have not been ready, but they kept it short and sweet. And Goldberg faced off against people that could take his offense. They were people that at least had experience. Jade was facing mostly people that didn't. I mean, some people that had some experience. This was rough. Sterling got dove on. Taya looked great. Taya did everything she could. There were some pins, though, where it's like they delayed long on a 2 count after the Road to Valhalla. My goodness. If the referee had pulled up any goddamn more, he would have been a New Japan ref. And then suddenly Jaded, 1, 2, 3. Mark Sterling's like 60-0. There's nobody left. She'll put the title on the line at any time, but there's nobody left. Music. Statlander, thanks for coming, Taya Valkyrie. And suddenly the match is going to happen. And Statlander hits a few moves. She looks great, by the way. And hits whatever that pile driver is. This sit-out tombstone thing. 1, 2, 3. New TBS champion. Okay. Bit surprising. I mean, I'm not complaining about this, but now they're going to shove Jade into the main roster or main division picture. They're going to try to have her beat Toni Storm and have her lead the women's division, which Jade can't fucking do because once the bell rings, it's over. I'm sure she's nice. She seems nice in interviews. She has the look. That's it. Anyway, Statlander, back. Good for her. Hopefully her knees hold up because she had 2 back-to-back knee injuries. She recovered from one and then came back and snapped it again. Jack Perry gets a pop with some pyro. Sammy and Ty are going to have a baby. No wire hangers. Okay, that's mean. I hope. If that means Ty isn't going to be on camera anymore, good. Gee, I wonder how Sammy's ex that he proposed to on Dynamite feels about this. Whatever. It's none of my business. Maybe the baby can teach Ty English. Okay, I'm going to stop being mean-spirited, and I'm going to talk about Darby doing a weird Elvis crash wedding thing and having this fake Elvis help him bury a body. Oh, yeah, and MJF descended on a throne. 4 years to the day, or at least close to it, where Cody had bashed the throne with a sledgehammer. Why don't you call my name? MJF versus Darby versus Jack Perry versus Sammy. 4 pillars, 4-way match for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. They stole the show. Unfortunately, there wasn't much to steal from. It was robbing from the rich to just give to people that, could just take it elsewhere, basically. Not even to give to the poor, because there were some poor, unfortunate souls that were in pain and in need. Don't watch the new Little Mermaid, by the way. Besides Halle Bailey, it's terrible. MJF has to be the one to win. He did. Was this good? This was very good. There were also points where I was kind of a little bit turned off by it because some of the spots were a bit convoluted, but MJF and Darby made this work. This is going to be a test for all 4, because this wasn't even the main event. I did like when Darby hit the springboard or the flip over stunner and MJF's, what the fuck? Which was great. MJF was great on this. He hit the Crossroads for 2. The Crossroads not winning a match. Shrieking Cody Rhodes noises. I hope he never wins the World Heavyweight Championship because he doesn't deserve it. Anyway, MJF doing some great stuff. He says, hey, Sammy. He gets on the mic and says, Sammy, kids cost a lot. Think of the kid. And lay down. Think about the baby. Then Sammy tries to screw him over by schoolboying him. No rope breaks in a 4-way. We get some submission spots. They're all him and Centipede together. And then we get a Destroyer barrage. I didn't like that. That was convoluted. I didn't like that. I don't like the Destroyer being overused. Petey Williams did the Destroyer well, so did a couple other people. But nevertheless. Spanish Fly into the other 2 outside. More moves spamming. The crowd was into it. Give them that much credit. So they teamed up on MJF. We got a lot of near falls. The blonde bombshell where MJF landed and planted his hands. And I hope that he didn't actually hurt his wrist. It looked like he might have. That was brutal. It was great. It was straight out of the Chris Candido playbook. Rest in peace, Chris Candido. Dark Side of the Ring coming up here in just a couple days. Gonna have to make sure I review those. That was brutal. That was a goddamn... it was a great spot, but ooch. And then we got some stuff like a coffin drop. That was a good spot where Jack Perry broke it up after a side headlock takeover. And then we get more, we get the title involved. And Jack Perry decides not to swing it at Darby, and the crowd boos, which was great. And what I liked was how he hit the GTH, the coffin drop, Sammy got hit, he got knocked out, and then the coffin drop was hit after MJF put the belt on the prone body. And Darby was hit, and then side headlock takeover. 1, 2, 3. And MJF won, and it was great. And if the pay-per-view had ended there, I'd been like, okay, you know what? That was actually a great way to end the pay-per-view. And then... shit's about to hit the fan, is what Justin Roberts said. He wasn't wrong. I don't know who this band was that was singing Wild Thing. It was not X, because they would be in their 60s at least by this point. One guy was in, he had a black mask, which was fine, but he also had black face on, looking like Al Jolson from The Jazz Singer. Shout out to Tom, who does a bunch of cool drawings on Twitter. I forgot your exact handle, Tom, but I just want to say shout out to you for coming up with that one. And he's also not wrong. Anarch Queef in the arena. Elite and BCC. This is the worst match of the year so far. I did not expect this to be necessarily a technical classic. I hated the last one, and I hated this one more, and I will tell you why. Because they should have learned what not to do from the last one. They played Wild Thing on the loudspeaker a few times, and then it got broken up. But they kept singing while the guy was in blackface. Everybody's doing... I'm not going to try to do all this stuff like as far as move for move, because it was stupid and trash, and everybody, including Danielson, should have been sent home for 6 months because of this. This was terrible. Absolutely terrible. You want to pay him to stay at home, that's fine. But god damn it, this was not wrestling. This was not even good. This is not even good hardcore wrestling. And if you liked it, that's fine. This is the exact reason why I can't always take AEW seriously. Because for any of the good they do, like in that 4-way, and even a few other things, like Statlander beating Jade, whatever it is, because honestly, Jade never deserved that streak. Anything good they did just kept getting undone by matches that went on too long, overly complicated, overly booked matches. They already had an unsanctioned match, they had a ladder match, they had a battle royal, and now they got this. And also they had a whole bunch of interference and a bunch of bullshit in the tag team championship match. And they just had a 4-way where, yes, there were some convoluted spots, but it still at least involved mostly wrestling. And if I gave a shit about these groups feuding, then it might mean something. And if you're a fan of the Elite, okay, cool. You buy into their stuff. I don't. Even if I don't, I still appreciate what Omega and Ospreay did in the Dome. But they super kicked the singer at one point. The Bucks probably pictured him as a black guy, but nevertheless, we get a barbed wire poker chip. We get broken glass and chains, and Callis joins commentary, before all this stuff happens. We get broken glass. Do. Forget it. Everybody should have been fired because of this. Forget sending them home. Fire everybody. I hate it. I hate this. This is absolute garbage. This is the worst match of the year so far. And WWE's done plenty of garbage. New Japan has done plenty of garbage. For all the good that all three of those companies do, there are self-inflicted wounds that they need to stop doing. At one point, Claudio goes outside with one of the Bucks and pile drives him in the back of a truck. So Claudio's just done. Then he comes back down. I think it was Matt Jackson. He hits an exploding super kick with like some kind of charge. And it's a damn shame it wasn't a C4 charge. And it would have been like Kerry Von Erich after June of 1986. And then more move spamming and all this shit. And it just would not end. It wouldn't, if there were 2 matches taken off of this pay-per-view, this would have ended nicely around 8 o'clock. It just... One Wing Angel got broken up. And then more bullshit. Callis got involved. Handed you the screwdriver. And then suddenly somebody shows up and stops Omega. It was Takeshita. You have to bleed with us to be with us. And that's what the BCC said. And Takeshita turning on Omega. Takeshita, curse your sudden but obvious betrayal. I mean, the people popped. I think everybody kind of called this in all honesty. And then the screwdriver to the head and the seatbelt. 1, 2, 3. Then they choke Omega, and they're standing tall at the end. This is the worst pay-per-view that AEW has done in a while. I'm going to buy Forbidden Door. I'm going to keep buying their pay-per-views because I like to support the company. And sometimes some pay-per-views surprise me. This one surprised me because I didn't have high expectations for it, and it turned out to actually be worse. Any of the good stuff I mentioned, I stand by. But this was a mess. This was a goddamn mess. Featuring some of the worst, most overbooked stuff that AEW has done in a while, and that's saying something. Yeah. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.